Greetings in the mighty name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Jah Rastafari. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Jah. Yes, greetings, ones and blessings. Give thanks for the time, and give thanks for the space, and give thanks for allowing I and I to speak Rastafari. And I will always and forever speak Rastafari and speak through the lens of Rastafari to bring across this message. Now, I tried the other day. It's a recent occurrence, but it's not so recent because it's something that I have been observing for some time. And I tried with a virgin, and I see him have a locks on him head. So I asked him the question. So I say, "You're Rasta?" And him said to me, say, "Why me ask?" So I say, "I see you have on the identifier, your locks, so I want to know if you're a Rasta. Can I everyone we have on here a Rasta?" Anyway, him declare say man a Rasta. So I say, "Who are you?" Him say, "I am." So I say, "What is that? That sound ambiguous. What do you mean I am?" Him say, "I am." So I say to him, say, "You're ambiguous, and let me show you. If you had asked I that question, I would tell you that I am a Rasta. You know? So one thing lead to the next in the reasoning. And I said to him, say, from the moment me hear you hesitate to declare who you be, that means I sense some kind of fear inside of you. And him said, "No, I'm not fear, but him just don't like labels and titles." So I say, "Oh, alright." So we further along in the reason, because I have a reason with him, because I try to get a overstanding. I'm psyche. So then him declare to me, say, him is a spirit. He's a free spirit having a human experience. Or a free being having a human experience. So I say, "Yeah?" And him say, "Yeah." So I say, so I laugh. And I say to him, say, you're a problem. Because if you're a free being or a free spirit having a human experience, in this reality, you see that black skin there, where you choose to have your experience in it, it's gonna be a rough one. I already say you recognize that already. Because I tell him, say, in this reality, there's a system that is anti-blackness. And you, as a free being or a free spirit, having a human experience in a black skin, that not gonna work. And I said to him, say, I asked him, I said, then, therefore, you have, I say, you have some white friends, and him declared to me, say, Jaja, the man declared to me, say, the worst experience them when him have in a life are black people. And the best experience where him have, the most good way him experience are from white people. And I say, okay, I see where you come from. And I say, no, those experience where I experience with those people is from an individual. And I say, you see, the black skin that we are treading on the earth in this reality, you know, it comes and you have to pay a certain price. because there's a system out there that is, as I repeat, anti that. And then, and I will go too much enough detail with me and the one reasoning, but in the I and I consciousness, I open I and I heavens, I and I start to pray. And then I recognize there's a narrative. And the narrative is there's an anti-African narrative that is out there. And there's a disconnection because the anti-narrative, African narrative is from a disconnection. And then we have to return back to the cause. I'm going to say, Jaja, this diabolical enterprise called the Atlantic slave trade really mess up I and I people, because we are suffer, we are call it the post-traumatic slave disorder. And out of that, I and I suffer from an identity crisis. And there are ones and ones out there, black skin, that them run to everywhere else other than declaring Ankh Nation Africa, Ethiopia. And when I recognize the historical representation of Africa through the lens of the Western world, I kind of overs where them come from too. But at the same time, may I say, Jano, the confusion, the confusion is so devil. Now look at it. You have ones and ones. I tell you the different narratives. I have to show you where I come from. You have ones and ones out there declare say them are Hebrew Israelites. You have some of them are declare say them are Moors. You have some of them are declare say them are indigenous. Them are not African. And the free spirit want them. Those are the ones that are spiritual. Them not deal with race and them not deal with color and all these other crap. But yet still, every last one of them answer to the system of the Western, European, white psychology. Every last one of them, even I and I as Rasta, suffer at the hands. And I recognize there is a fear. And I fear for declare who the enemy is. So we do all kind of rational and do all kind of tap dancing away from the issue. And at the end of the day, I feel for recognize, say, a survival. Now, let me give you an example of all these ones. The one where say them are indigenous. They cannot prove nothing outside of what you call archaeological discovery in human evolution. Them can't get nothing older than Africa. Dickness, Lucy, 3.5 million. And maybe they are more even older than Lucy by now. But I just speak to what I and I. Because I and I now to follow it up. And I really don't need that to declare Rastafari and declare Ankh Nation Africa and know say this is I and I reality and this is I and I identity through the lens of Rastafari. Because like me declare from day one, Rastafari is realigning, reconnecting to anciency in our modern time, and the anciency is His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Jah Rastafari Ethiopia, and Ethiopia in reference to what I and I manifest is the whole continent, which I and I advance as Ankh Nation, the Ankh Nation continent. And these indigenous ones, like I mentioned, the Lucy, inside of the continent of Africa, whether they want to claim them indigenous in North America, way over in the Americas, this are the point where they miss. That are over 60,000 years, or maybe 50. Depends on what the archaeologists and them scientists, social scientists want to declare when the migration pattern start outside of the continent, Ant Nation continent, so-called popularly known as Africa or Ethiopia, or over 60,000 years ago, or even earlier. And everything points with them anthropological, linguists, name them science, everything points to Africa, Ant Nation Africa. So this is where the indigenous representative feel for acknowledge in them declaring them indigenousness. Well, if I say them thing, they are them thing, but me I show you the fallacy and these distorted Africans, because of that me I call them distorted Africans. Now you have another set where declares that them are more and want to make everything more from not all of North America come all the way back to the Americas and even in Africa. They want to declare more starting in a Northwest Africa, particularly Algeria, Mauritania, and Morocco, all of them places where these Africans who was colonized by the Arabs, and therefore to make the Arab make a distinction out of them and call them Moors. And them now turn around now, and this is about in the 700 AD, somewhere there about, the term Moors come into existence. But the term Moor is really a representation of blackness. So you have them. Then you have the Hebrew Israelites, them where connect themselves through a biblical perspective. And them say them are Hebrew Israelites. Now if that work for them, to them can continue, but here how them fall short now. And I go use for them trad for show you how them fall short. And the fallacy again. Now you have a set of them who left America about in 1969. What him name? Benjamin. And them settling in a place named Dimona right now. And the part where the Israelis them push them for make them settle in are the one of the most aridest part in Israel. Now, them dead in Israel, probably they dead now from 1969 to now, as a good time now. Them there, and them a fight, and the Israeli them a try push them out, and them a hold on. And some of them get privilege, but the privilege where them give them for show you, them left America and resort back to the same servitude. Let me show you what I mean by that now. Them turn on in Israel, and then the Israelis them give them like a privilege, meaning them can join them army and them can use them for sports and entertainment. But them not have no power. And ever so often when the Israelis them feel like them a get too thick, them deport some of them. Now, this is the fallacy, because how the hell you are going to give up America, go in a place and you still end up under servitude and bondage. So that again are the Hebrew Israelites, and then you have the rest of them up in America there, all over the place, and then America, all even in Jamaica yet. and England and them place, and them has pushed this Israel return to Israel narrative. And Israel right now controlled by the white man. Him call himself Israeli. So when you go and all that uno we depend in the diaspora we are church of this Hebrew Israelite psychology, all that uno can't fit in Israel. And when you no go to Israel, you don't have no talk. Because and not just uno alone. You have the Hebrew them too from out of Africa too. We're more ancient than them one here. We are around Israel right now. But nonetheless, how all that uno go fit in the little land space of them called Israel right now, where them kill off people for declared for themselves because them don't want no more experience where Hitler give them and where them experience everywhere in the world where them go. You think them are gonna make them come in there, come have no say so? See? That is the fallacy. And that are the premise where no want lead to. Yet we have a continent where can swallow Israel thousands of times. Swallow all America too. Swallow America, the diaspora too. Can fit in Africa. And no want disconnect on yourself from it. You know see the folly in the psyche. And this is a result of that diabolical enterprise, that post-traumatic slave disorder. And enough of you don't want to identify and want to disconnect from Africa because you're afraid. You're fearful. But anyway, when I speak Rastafari have the resolution for that. Because I recognize that, yes, Africa is I one, and I aligned to Africa. But before I can enter in Africa, I have to revolute the mind and come into this unity and oneness. And we have to deal with this internal disconnection. And Rastafari is the resolution. Because when I hear the difference with Rastafari and the rest of them, if you are more, the Arab man are your master. And if you are Hebrew, the Israeli them are your master. Because if you say you are the Asia, the black man, and you go in Mecca, Iran, all of them places there, the Arab man going to be a master. And when you go to Israel, you can't even go there. But if them allow you and give the privilege to come in there, the Israeli going to be a master. Make sure you separate. And if you are the next one, boy, you're a free spirit. In reality, you have to deal with the Western mindset. The European, the Caucasian man, you have to deal with them because him a dominate right now. No. Rastafari, the only master Rastafari have is Rastafari. Because I declare who I God is, and I declare I identity, aligning I self to agency. So that's it there. So this are just I word sound in relation to the reasoning with the heights. You know? And the distortion. Because I whole heap of them out there, and I whole heap of different levels of it. But it's all from that diabolical enterprise called the transatlantic slave trade and the post-traumatic slave disorder that is yet to be addressed. And as Rastafari addressed that, giving us back our oneness, one aim, one God, one destiny. That's what Rastafari is about. It is yours. No one can take it from you, and no one can gain a talk from Rastafari. They have to talk to you when it comes to Rastafari. So until such time again, give thanks for the time, and give thanks for the support and the ones them. We take the time to listen to I sound, because when I speak Rastafari, I speak to I who know and deem or assert or reclaim I identity. Know thyself. You see it, Rastafari is a survival tribe. Rastafari is Caribbean, African unity. Rastafari is yours. Until me the Most High Jah Rastafari bless and protect I and I continually. Rastafari live it and reign in I and I. Sealer.